did you know your credit score has nothing to do with actual wealth? That's right. You could have millions in the bank and still have a bad score. What no one tells you is that the system was built to keep you stuck, in debt, chasing consumerism, and far from financial freedom. Today, you're going to understand how credit scores really work, why they're a trap disguised as opportunity, and what to do instead to build real wealth. If this topic speaks to you, like the video, share it, and subscribe. Because here, we talk about the truths banks don't want you to hear. Criticism of the credit score system. Most people think a good credit score means financial success. But the truth is, credit scores don't measure wealth, stability, or financial intelligence. They only evaluate one thing: how likely you are to pay your debts on time. That's it. So even if you've got $1 million in investments, a late $30 payment can hurt your score. That logic is ridiculous. You could be a successful investor with multiple streams of passive income and still get penalized for forgetting to pay your credit card bill. The system doesn't care about your financial stability. It only rewards how obedient you are to staying in debt. And that works perfectly for banks, who make billions off interest, fees, and long-term loans. You can earn a high income, have strong savings, and a growing investment portfolio, but miss a single bill and your score drops. Now ask yourself, can a system that ignores your net worth, your assets, and your passive income truly reflect your financial health? It's a shallow, flawed, and ruthless model designed to feed the engine of finance consumption. The more you rely on credit, the more you fuel the system. And the more disciplined you are at managing your debt, the more trust the system gives you, not as an investor, but as a borrower. How credit scores work. Let's look behind the curtain. Credit scores are based on 5 main factors. 1. Payment history, 35%, whether you pay your debts on time. 2. Credit utilization, 30%, how much of your credit limit you're using, 0.3. Length of credit history, 15%, how long you've had credit. 4. New credit inquiries, 10%, how often you apply for new cards or loans. 5. Credit mix, 10%, the variety of your debts, credit cards, loans, personal credit, etc. In other words, the longer you play the debt game and the more disciplined you are in following banking rules, the higher your score. None of this reflects your ability to generate wealth, grow assets, or run a business. It only measures how you behave as a credit-driven consumer. See the pattern? It's all about how you manage debt, not how you build wealth. The system doesn't care if you own a profitable business, rental properties, or an investment portfolio. It just wants to know if you'll keep borrowing and paying on time. It's a risk assessment tool for banks, not a measure of your financial success. In practice, it shows how predictable you are as a customer. And for financial institutions, predictability means guaranteed profit. It strengthens your role as a consumer, not as someone pursuing financial freedom. The origin and spread of credit score culture. This obsession with scores is actually pretty recent. The credit score craze took off in the U.S. during the 1990s when Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, 2 major mortgage institutions, started requiring minimum scores to approve home loans. That pushed banks to adopt the system as a standard. And before long, your score became the key to all kinds of credit. This led millions to believe credit was a passport to the life they always dreamed of. What began as a technical metric turned symbolic. A high score came to mean responsibility, success, and trustworthiness. As a result, people started caring more about looking creditworthy than actually being financially free. Over time, the system spread to rentals, phone plans, insurance, even job applications. What started as a risk assessment tool became a status symbol. And the most dangerous part? The marketing around it tells you that the better your score, the more good things you can have. But those good things usually come with long-term payments and hidden interest rates. It's a system built to seem convenient, but it's deeply predatory. Credit scores don't exist to empower you. They exist to keep you consuming within a financial control structure disguised as privilege. Credit score is a status symbol. You've seen it. People flaunting their 800 score like it's a trophy. Social media full of videos like, how I boosted my score, or my secret to getting platinum card. And behind all of this is a need for validation. If banks trust you, then you must be financially successful, right? Wrong. You're just being recognized as a good debt payer. This kind of validation is dangerous because it feeds the ego instead of aiming to build wealth. People chase approval from financial institutions. They live trying to prove they're trustworthy, not to grow, but to consume more. What should be a tool has become an identity. The score has become a symbol of a successful adult life, but it's just an illusion. This behavior reflects a society that confuses access to consumption with financial success. A good score only proves you know how to follow the rules of the system, not that you're financially free. Real freedom means not needing credit at all. It's being able to say no thanks when offered interest-free payments, because you've already got the money. Financial autonomy means choosing what to buy, not buying what you're told you can afford. Real wealth versus credit. Let's get one thing straight. Credit is not equal to wealth. Having a high credit limit might feel like financial power, but it's just a way to let you spend money you don't actually have. Real wealth comes from assets that grow over time. Stocks, real estate, businesses, dividends, not from your credit card limit. True wealth is measured by how long you can sustain your lifestyle without needing a paycheck or credit. And credit is just leverage. It can help, but it can also drag you down. If you're using credit to invest smartly, great. But if you're using it to keep up appearances or cover daily expenses, you're moving further away from freedom, not closer to it. Credit gives you permission to spend more, but with money that isn't yours and with interest, it's an illusion of purchasing power. And the saddest part? So many people get trapped in this cycle, thinking they're building a life when they're really just building debt. Don't be fooled by access to credit. It can be useful, but it's not a sign that you're getting richer. In the real game of prosperity, the winners are those who accumulate assets, not liabilities. How to build real wealth. The path to financial freedom has nothing to do with your credit score. It comes down to 3 key habits. The first, focus on assets, not credit. Everything you acquire should either grow in value or generate income. Forget about status. Think like an investor. Buy assets like stocks, real estate investment funds, rental properties, or invest in your own business with positive cash flow. The second is what we call the sacrifice decade. Spend less, earn more, and invest everything you can for 10 years. Sound like a long time? Think of it this way. 10 years of discipline can buy you 40 years of freedom. The third habit is simple but powerful. Prioritize cash flow. Look for passive income. Automate your investments. Live below your means and grow your capital wisely. Real wealth is built quietly with consistency and patience. It's not about looking good on social media or flashing a black credit card. It's about waking up in peace, knowing your money is working for you. That's the kind of freedom a credit score will never give you. While many live to protect their score, those who build real wealth focus on growing assets and protecting their time. They know the system is an illusion, and that's why they choose to build outside of it. Strategic use of credit cards. Let's be realistic. Credit cards can be a useful tool, but only if you know how to use them with discipline. I personally use a credit card every month, but I always pay the full balance. I never let interest accumulate. I also take advantage of perks like cashback, airline miles, and purchase protection. But all of this only works if you have total control over your spending. You should use a credit card with a debit card mindset. Only spend what you already have. Using it to earn rewards is smart, as long as you're not fooling yourself or treating it like an extension of your income. The moment you pay interest, the card stops being a tool and becomes a trap. If you're making impulse purchases on installments, paying only the minimum, or struggling to keep track of due dates, then the card is doing more harm than good. Many financial experts, like Dave Ramsey, even suggest cutting up your cards to avoid temptation. And for good reason. Credit card interest rates are some of the highest in the market. If you don't master the system will master you. Use credit cards with strategic awareness, not as a financial crutch. When debt can be acceptable, not all debt is bad, but very few are truly good. Good debt is the kind that brings returns, not expenses. Buying a rental property, financing a proven franchise, or studying in an institution that can double your income. Those are examples of strategic debt. Even then, it requires planning, knowledge, and emotional control. Good debt should have a clear exit plan, a calculated return, and bring you growth, not just comfort. That's very different from making a purchase just because it's affordable or on sale. Debt only makes sense if it puts you in a better position in the future than you're in today. On the flip side, financing a car, clothes, or vacations are examples of debt that only feed the consumer cycle. You feel in control when you buy, but then spend months paying for a moment that's long gone. Credit scores might be used to unlock certain investments, but they should never be your end goal. The goal is to build wealth, not to look rich or rely on credit to survive. Use the system wisely, but never ever live for it. Your credit score is just a reflection of how you manage debt, not how you build wealth. While many people spend their lives trying to look good to the banks, the truly wealthy focus on building assets, income, and freedom. Don't fall into the trap of finance consumption. Focus on financial education, intentional sacrifice, and smart decisions. If this video opened your eyes, like it, leave a comment below, and share with someone who needs to break free from this cycle. And remember, your financial future is in your hands, not in the hands of a score.